you more than likely don't care about what are mods, why do we use them, and what are they in the context of the Gachaverse series, all that in this stupid video that's weirdly formatted like a Vsauce video.
Hey, Vsauce! Michael here. How fast can you run?
Let's start with the basics. What exactly are mods? If you've ever played a video game or used a piece of software, you've probably heard the term mod tossed around. But what does it actually mean? In a nutshell, mods, short for modifications, are alterations or additions made to a game or software by users or developers. These changes can range from basic tweaks, like adding new features or fixing bugs that the devs missed, to massive overhauls that completely transform the game, like Fallout London, for example. Okay, so imagine you've got a game that's just a little too mid for your taste. Mods can add new characters, levels, or entire storylines. Gacha mods are mods made by the community for the community, obviously. But what sets them different from most modding communities is exactly how we make the mods. The Gachaverse games are all Adobe Flash games, meaning in order to modify them, you'll need a .swf editor like JJPEX or something similar to open the .swf file if you don't have Flash installed. When you think of a gacha mod, you're more than likely thinking of a gacha club mod, like Gacha Star, Gacha Nox, now Gacha Nebula, Gacha Luminal, Gacha Plus, Gacha Neon, so on and so forth. What these mods do is add custom-made objects like clothes, eyes, backgrounds, and accessories. Stuff that people want to see in the game that weren't there before. Some even had communities where fans would contribute to the mod by submitting in-art and designs to be added in later. Now, some mods had issues, and by issues I mean plagiarism or theft. There were a small boat of mods that had yoinked things from one mod and added it to theirs, even taking from other artists. Most remembered being Gacha Nox, which has long since rectified this and has since converted into Gacha Nebula, which I can recommend as being very good as its original assets are quality, and very kawaii, if you ask me. Now, from experience, mods were always a bit of an iffy spot in the official Lunime circle. This will be an account from my personal experience, but I remember back when I was on the official Lunime Discord server around 2021. I remember being in a chat where everyone shares their OCs. I was remaking the default boy and girl in my style when I shared a screenshot of the whip. Now, keep in mind, this is the original screenshot that I shared. This is what the UI looked like for me. I had modified the pose UI background because I couldn't really make out the poses on my laptop that I was using at the time, so have it pop out was genuinely helpful to me. Anyway, I thought nothing of it when I sent it in the chat. Until I started getting pinged out the rear by a few members who wanted to know how my UI was pink. Now, even more context. If this was a rule, I legitimately had no clue. Whenever I join a Discord server, I extensively read the rules and change how I act there accordingly. But I don't recall at the time there being a rule against using fan versions or making modded versions of Gacha Club. And I had no reason to think it was because a bunch of people started asking me how to do it, so I didn't think it was an issue. Until I got muted for 6 days. And then banned about an hour or 50 minutes later, and the confirmed reasoning for the mute was modifying game files. Also, if you were the few people who DM'd me for a tutorial and got one, hey, how are you? I hope you didn't get in trouble next, LOL. So this leads me into the next segment. Yeah, the title is a word salad, but bear with me for a moment. So about 3 years ago, I learned on ER/GachaClub that the PC port of Gacha Club already had the next Gacha Club update in it. As in, back in 2020, they had a working updated PC build that had all the features the mobile versions had present that for some reason wasn't enabled and released despite it apparently being, quote, very easy to do. This discovery was made by Shizu Forever, the at the time #1 global ranking gacha world and also owner of the Shizu Forever preset. According to Shizu, this version was not publicly available and this was the beta test version of the build. Shizu merely changed so code to allow it to update to the latest Android version at the time, which was 1.10. Shizu was conflicted, as they wanted players to have access to this build, as it's been so long since the mobile versions had been updated, but didn't want to get in trouble by Luni, should he find out and be mad as releasing this build would require file from a private beta that Shizu was part of. Here's where the story of Gachaverse modding gets important, so lock in. Underneath the post, a user by the name of Yanakon asks Shizu a question. Remember that name. So, according to Shitsu, the Gacha Club Flash code were completely the same between Android and iOS. They were just compiled with each device respectively in mind. The game could work on the right operating system without issues. But the game versions that don't have battles and the Android version are quite different because the no battles version doesn't need certain features like battles and ads. This means you can't just swap files between them. Shitsu had a beta PC version of the game that still had all the modes and compared it with the PC No Battles version and made some updates to get the PC beta version to match the latest Android version. Apparently to Shitsu, it wasn't very hard once they figured it out, and they don't understand why Luni didn't update the PC version since it took them less than 15 minutes to find a solution and apply it. Somewhere else down below, another person asked how to do it, to which Shitsu replied that they would have to get permission from Luni to distribute it first. Otherwise, they risk getting on his bad side and having their preset removed, along with the unit to match. But they said if Luni doesn't update Gacha Club anymore, then they'd release it. However, in April 2021, 5 months after, another user asked about an update where Shitsu replied that Phantom's going to delete their unit and preset and ban them so Shitsu can't release it. Here's something interesting though. On April 1st, just 7 days before saying this, Shitsu made an April Fool's post where they rickrolled people claiming to have the full updated PC release of Gacha Club. In the comments, somebody asked for an update, as it had been about 7 months since they revealed knowledge of the private beta build. Shitsu reveals something very interesting, and what I believe to play a major part in why Luni and the lunime team are very conservative with mods surrounding Gacha Life 2.
Remember a person called Yoni? That person once took my files and made NSFW modifications without asking for my permission. I am not inclined to allow others to do the same thing easily, therefore not gonna release the PC version. Good luck. It's still possible to modify it, but it's harder, 1 to 2 more steps, and I wouldn't be at fault. Blame Luni for using Flash.
Remember how I told you to remember this guy? Fellas, meet Yonicon, technically the creator of the first Gacha Club mod. Although it's more than likely not a mod either of us would find much use in. Yoni here is the creator of the infamous Gacha Club 18 Plus mod, a modded version of Gacha Club that includes, well, duh, right? If you weren't around or paying attention a few years ago, there was a mod that made rounds called Sexy Gacha Club 18 Plus. I don't need to explain to you what was in this mod. I think the name is a dead giveaway, but according to Shitsu, they gave Yoni the files needed to make this updated version, but he turned around and created the 18 Plus mod.
Now, I doubt it seriously that Shitsu would have given him these files if they knew who Yoni was and what kind of mods he typically made, which leads me to believe that either no questions were asked, or if they were, he wasn't being honest.
The 18 Plus mod made rounds, sometimes going under different names, but always being the same mod. Its infamy will go down as one of the cringiest moments in the community by far. But I think that mod possibly played a crucial role in why Lunime doesn't want people to make mods of Gacha Life 2. Think about it. Gacha Life 2 is the most quote-unquote advanced Gachaverse game yet. Characters are fully articulated, meaning there's an endless combination of poses. What better way to make that content, am I right? Even worse, if another 18 Plus mod hits the community from this game, it'd be hard to keep track of in the sea of other mods. But the reason for why Lunime doesn't want to see any mods could also include a myriad of different things. Keeping track of assets to prevent theft and copyright issues with other artists on the team, keeping people from profiting off the game illegitimately, preventing leaks, but who knows what's going on in Luni and the team's minds. I know that was supposed to be in the last segment, but bear with me. Why do we use Gacha Mods? Besides the reasoning I gave earlier, another major part of why we use Gacha Mods is because the game sometimes doesn't have everything in them. Recall how I mentioned that the mobile versions stayed updates ahead of the PC version. Yes, you can argue that the PC ports are demos of the mobile versions, but the PC platform is still a legitimate way a lot of us use Gacha. I, for one, made my over-under videos entirely on my laptop, including the PC version of the game. But I had to switch over to a modded version of Gacha Club because it genuinely did not have everything that the mobile versions had. But the mods fixed that, and even added more. A lot of us respect Luni and Lunime, but a lot of people are confused as to why they want no mods for Gacha Life 2, as Luni is known to go on months-long silence periods with no updates, not to mention ignoring an entire port of the game. It goes without saying that Luni and the team are real people behind those gacha-sonas and have real, tangible lives besides working on a dress-up gachapon game all day. But players do hold that right to be critical of the state that the last 2 Gachaverse games were constantly being left in and for so long, only to be told that for the next entry, they cannot make any custom versions of the game. A lot of times, these mods update a specifically ignore version of the game, wink wink, or they'll be struck and taken down. Which the team has every right to do, seeing as gacha mods and flash mods in general require you to essentially take an entire instance of a game and republish it, unlike mods for games like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, The Sims, and Minecraft, who all rely on package-like files. Only time will tell with Luni and the lunime team if their stance on mods ever changes or they get to updating every version of the game faster and fairly. But this has been Junobox, and I approve this message, signing out.